Hi, good morning. This is Gayatri Jayaraman. Welcome to Shamaha. Thank you guys for coming back. Please do remember to like, share, subscribe, and generally pass on the word. Well, it's really great to have the things that we say reach out to more people and to be beneficial to them in any way. Today, I really wanted to talk to you guys about something that I see cropping up quite a bit, and that is. Why you're not responsible for other people's happiness. And I see this coming up a lot, especially during this pandemic, because we all have relatives, friends, it could be parents, siblings, children in other parts of the country or in other countries that we are responsible for and that we're trying to get help to, we're trying to make sure they're okay. And all that's great, right? I mean, it's something that we really want to do, we need to reach out, we really want to be with our loved ones. But I'm talking about the little excess that says no matter how much I do, it's just not enough. And I see a lot of you all feeling extremely drained, extremely exhausted by this process. And some of you are juggling multiple time zones. You're trying to reach out and organize things for people in completely other parts of the world. And it's really difficult. And the strain is such that you're feeling completely depleted and inadequate. So let's address this, right? First is, yes, we need to do things for other people, and giving is great. I've done a lot of articles and talks on the need to become givers instead of takers, because that's how we extend our lens outwards. But when does giving become too much? Let me give you the example of a river. Okay, a river needs to flow into the sea. That is its purpose and that is its goal. However, a river needs to run through a channel, and that is where it gets its power from flowing between the banks. The minute the river breaches the banks, it becomes a disaster. It becomes a natural hazard for everybody living on the sides, right? Plus, it loses its own power because it's going everywhere. Okay, so a powerful river is one that only runs through its banks to reach a specific goal. The minute the river breaches its banks, it starts inundating the associated floodplains, and maybe the villages, maybe the fields, the crops are destroyed, and people's lives are just basically submerged underwater. It causes a lot of detriment and hardship. So you might say, how is giving detrimental to somebody? The more I give, how can they be sort of destroyed by it? That's a pretty harsh term to use, right? For that, we need to sort of understand that giving has to serve a purpose, and the purpose of that giving has to be growth. The growth of the individual and the growth of yourself. Okay, so even when you plant a seed in the earth, you have to give only sufficient water or sufficient sunlight for it to be able to grow. Excess sunlight and excess water is going to destroy the roots. When you have a child, as a mother, you cannot be picking up that child all the time and saying, you never need to walk, you never need to feed yourself, you never need to do anything for yourself, I'm going to do it all for you, right? If you pick up that child and there is a point at 8 months or 9 months when they're supposed to be having specific developmental milestones met, such as walking, feeding themselves, being able to recognize things, and when the mother is doing all these things for them or not allowing them to do these things for themselves, that child becomes what we call developmentally stunted. So also, as we go through life, through various ages, there are a number of milestones that we need to meet, at different parts of our lives. Okay, so when you should be able to go to school, you should be able to complete assignments. These all prepare you for, say, your college life, your teenage years, where you're starting to take responsibility for yourself, for your body, for your environment. You're starting to socialize, forge connections, forge relationships. This is what is going to ensure your success in your young adulthood. When you're in a relationship, you will by then have understood what is the meaning of loyalty, what is the meaning of fidelity, what is the meaning of building long-lasting relationships. And if your teenage years have been stunted or restricted or contained in any way in which these were not able to develop, you're going to find those effects sort of reflecting in your young adult years. Similarly, your young adult years are going to affect your middle age, your old age, because we need to complete these sort of milestones, and each one has its own benefit for our life. Right? In middle age is a time of stability in which we are able to support our children. If we have not become stable by then our children suffer. And if we don't have the stability, then going on into the period of early old age, we don't reach a phase where we are able to release, when we are able to consolidate, and when we are able to release what is not good for us or consolidate everything that we have. In late adulthood, we are not able to share. It's a time when, for instance, you'll find that people are putting together their memoirs. They want to share their knowledge. They want to share their learning. They want to, say, teach classes. They want to sort of share their philosophies in life. And these are all stages that we need to recognize as milestones for good development in a certain age. What happens when somebody, whether it's a mother looking after a child or a child looking after a parent, when they are doing everything for the other person or more than they are supposed to do, okay, or more that should be sufficient, you are stunting the development in these ages. And for instance, say we do way too much for a parent who is in their early old age, then you're basically affirming to that parent that the fears that they already have of not being able to cope on their own. So what you're telling them is, yes, you may not be able to cope on your own. I'm here, I'm going to cope for you, or I'm going to give you my strength with which to cope for it. So emotional support is not good, financial support is good, physical support is good, but is it going across to the extent that that person's fears are getting enhanced and they are unable to do things for themselves? Because if the help that we give across should not be affirming fears, it should be enhancing growth. And a good question to ask yourself always when you give help of any sort is this enhancing growth? Is it helping them? Okay, and enhancing growth and giving compassion, people assume that compassion is always sweet, right? It's not. Sometimes compassion is a mother telling the child, no, I will not help you. No, you cannot access the internet. You need to think and solve this on your own. Sometimes compassion is telling a young couple in their 20s who are fighting, the elders saying, no, we are not going to help you out on this. This is your issue. You need to sort it out on your own. You will not be helped by this. So sometimes compassion is also refusing to help. It is refusing to interfere. It is refusing to help that person sort of become codependent. Codependency is not helping. Right? There is a stage, like all of us have learned to ride a cycle, and we have these sort of support wheels. There's a stage at which the parent takes off the support wheels, right? And this goes for our relationships across ages, across times, across developmental milestones. The question to ask yourself is the help that I'm giving this person helping them grow? If it is not, then you need to withdraw that help. Right? And it may seem harsh, it may seem selfish. Part of this is because we've been trained to sort of believe that if we are not helping people constantly all the time, this blanket helping, that we are somehow selfish and therefore not good people. So one is, it affirms that fear that, oh my God, am I not a good person? The second thing that you need to ask yourself is, is the need of this help theirs or mine? Am I helping you because it makes me feel a less guilty parent, or a less guilty child, or a less guilty partner? Am I helping you so that I don't have to deal with conflict? Am I helping you so I don't have to see you go through something? So is the need yours or is it mine? Because if the help is fulfilling my need, then that's the wrong reason to give the help, right? And the third thing is then to come to an understanding of boundaries. Why do we need boundaries, right? Again, go back to the example of the river, because one is we lose our power when we cross boundaries. It's not only that we are inundating the other person and destroying the crop in their field, it is that we have no sense of purpose, that just because we have water doesn't mean it has to be distributed everywhere. Power comes from moving in a channel, moving to a sense of purpose. So when we cross those boundaries, we lose our own sense of power. When we lose our own sense of power, what happens? We become depleted. When we become depleted, we are unable to help people where it is really required, because we are so exhausted. We're so exhausted from constantly giving and giving so much and giving purposelessly and giving everywhere in all directions, that when the actual need comes up for help, and we can see that this person really needs me to step in right now, we don't have the energy for it anymore. So it's always good to conserve your resources, keep your boundaries, run in a channel, maintain your power, and see the purpose of your giving. The purpose of your giving has to be the growth of someone, and it has to not be to fulfill your need, it has to be to fulfill their need to the end of their growth. Yeah, so I hope this helps you. Mindless giving does not help anybody, so I'm going to curtail what I'm giving you today to this particular channel, and I hope that it helps you sort of refine the ways in which you're giving of yourself outwardly. So have a great day, and I hope it gives you purpose and definition. Please do like, share, subscribe, and generally pass on the word. See you soon.